Conley was one of the favourites to win the I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, but after just 10 days on the show, he left for unexplained medical reasons, prompting speculation about his mental health in many of the papers. Well, in an exclusive interview this morning, Brian told us while he was in the jungle, he decided to stop taking the antidepressants he'd been on for 15 years. He said he was getting side effects due to not eating properly, but the bosses of the show, worried about his well-being, insisted that he continue to take that medication.
They said if I did not comply with these regulations, then I would not be on the show. Now, it is under extreme circumstances, and I started to feel really bad because in the end, very shortly after that, I did have to leave, and I had an examination. They found out that I had malnutrition, and I was suffering from exhaustion. And that's what the doctors said. They then sedated me in hospital. They gave me a tablet that would probably knock out a horse for 2 days. And I woke up with the saline drip in my arm, thinking, what on earth has happened here? You know, all my kids said, you've got to go out there, you've got to win the stick. Because I always joke with them about, you know, what do you get if you win? You win a stick. And I'm now lying in hospital being heavily sedated with a saline drip because I suffer from malnutrition and exhaustion, all because of a lovely show, a fluffy show that Anti-Dec do. I can tell you it's not fluffy out there, it's the real world, and it is tough, it is really tough.
Well, we saw that. We saw that, how tough it was. I mean, you did look fragile, but you are a real trooper. You know, in your world, the show must go on. So it must have been really bad for you to have left, but it must have been very, very bad for you then to have made that decision to go.
It was bad. I felt bad because it was out of my control, and it was their decision. I couldn't lie to them. I'm an honest guy. I couldn't go, yes, I've taken my tablet. Of course I have, because they never examine you taking it. I could have then just gone in the dunny and just dropped it down there. But I thought, surely that must see logic. I've taken this tablet for 15 years. I've even had people say, Brian, I don't think you even need it now. And I have to say, and this is another point, ever since I've left, I've not taken the tablet. I feel very proud that I stuck to my guns and that I said, well, I have to go. I feel very proud that I didn't saunter out and walk straight into the Versace, that I had to be sedated because of extreme exhaustion, and I feel very proud that I got through it, and it's actually made me a much stronger man, and you're looking at someone that doesn't need antidepressants, and I realise that now. Was
there one thing that made you realise that you had to go, and did you make that decision yourself to go, or were you taken out of the situation?
No. I think it was... It all got very serious when it was legally binding. You must comply with these rules. It got all very official, and quite rightly so. ITV's a big, huge company. They've got to do it right. And if I brought these tablets in, I've got to take them.
Well, Dr. Hillary's with us now, and it's very interesting what Brian's saying. Good to see him actually there, because we've all been so worried about him. But he was saying, you know, he was on these antidepressants, then he was suffering from malnutrition, for goodness sake, and exhaustion. But now he's not taking them now, he says. He's not on the pills anymore. What do you think?
Well, if someone's on a maintenance dose of antidepressants, and I saw the whole interview, and Brian lost his father a while ago, and he went through a very bad bereavement. He had a reactive depression. He was put on a low dose of antidepressants, he talks about. And, you know, to be honest, this is a very stressful situation. There's sleep deprivation. He didn't eat for 6 days. He had a severe case of Helen Flanaganitis, not eating for 6 days. She didn't win any stars and didn't have any food. And with all that stress, that's not the right time to stop taking your maintenance antidepressants. It actually just compounds the problem. Not eating is not a reason to stop taking your medication, and you shouldn't do it without consulting a doctor as well. So I think that there was probably a mistake there. I mean, he's a lovely guy, and clearly he's completely exhausted. He's lost a lot of weight.
And he was, you know, he was actually, as he said, you know, he was knocked out in hospital.
Yeah, I mean, they would have sedated him and just given him complete rest, which is one way of dealing with that acute exhaustion and stress. And of course he'll bounce back. He'll be back doing panto, I have no doubt at all. And we look forward to that. But, you know, people are, they're monitored before they go off to Australia into the jungle. They go through tests, they're monitored. And there was was no reason why. I mean, you can't predict how people are going to react in those circumstances, which is what makes it a good show to watch.
I guess. I'm just glad he's all right.
Oh yeah,
I really am.
He'll be fine. He needs to come home and rest, be with his family as he is now, and it's great that he's talking about depression, that he's willing to talk about it and say, look, I'll share this with people. It can happen to anybody, and you bounce back.
Exactly.
Good on you. Thanks.
Larry, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. And you can hear lots more about that interview with Brian after 8 o'clock this morning, because we talked about loads and loads of other things, including his family and how concerned they were, and actually how grateful he's been to everybody that's been sending messages of support as well.